Well, the visiting Vice President of the United States of America, Kamala Harris, was giving a rousing welcome by President Akufo Addo and his wife, Rebecca Akufo, also present to welcome her, where some cabinet ministers. Kamala Harris is expected to reiterate her country's support for Ghana to secure an IMF deal. Ghana is seeking a $3 billion bailout from the fund to address shortfalls in the economy, but the deal with the Paris Club stands in the way. President Akufo Addo has paraded a high-level government official to make Ghana's case in ongoing bilateral talks at the Jubilee House. The two have been deliberating on issues affecting the two countries.
More and more, because more and more American companies are interesting themselves in Ghana. And we want that development to be accentuated and enhanced. And your presence here, hopefully, is going to be a good signal to the American investment community that Ghana is a good place for them to look at and everything. So, you're very welcome. I'm delighted for myself to play host to you here in Ghana. I remember the elegance and very warm manner in which you received me at the White House when I was there 2 years ago. So it's an opportunity for us also to reciprocate and return that hospitality. You've met already all the people here. We don't have to go through that again. So welcome. And I'm hoping that the 3 days that you're here with us are going to be fruitful days and memorable days for you and for us as well. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. And it is good to see you again. From the first time that we met 2 years ago at the White House, you and I had extensive and constructive conversations about the importance of the relationship between the United States and Ghana. And I must say that it is of particular importance that we are able to continue to work with you as President of Ghana. You have been very courageous and forward in terms of standing for democratic principles, and we have shared commitments to those ideals. I also am here to discuss a number of issues with you as in furtherance of the conversation we started 2 years ago that relates to our shared interests in the prosperity and security of Ghana and of this continent. So I look forward to that conversation. It will range in terms of the work that we have done and will continue to do on the issue of security in this region in particular of the African continent, but also the work that we will continue to do that is about American investment in the well-being and health and prosperity of this region, understanding the benefit not only to the people of Ghana, but by extension, the people on this continent and the American people. So I thank you for the friendship that you have offered the United States. I bring you greetings from President Joe Biden, and I look forward to the conversation that we are having today and that we will continue to have in the days and years to come. Thank you for that, and for the warm welcome.
Mr. President.
We can go live to the Jubilee House and speak with Elton Broby, our Presidential Affairs correspondent. Elton, what more can you report from today's meeting?
Right, so we are all in waiting, but the two leaders just entered into a bilateral discussion. This is the second program before the news conference at the banquet hall. So the two leaders are now engaged on key issues of benefit to both countries. And indeed, we've been told about the agenda at the bilateral table. They are looking at democracy, the rule of law, as well as security and debt. Ghana is already before the IMF seeking a bailout of $3 billion to revive its economy. Now, Ghana has a proposal before the Paris Club. The U.S. has a major influence on the workings of the IMF. And publicly, the U.S. has made it clear that it will support the government of Ghana's quest to secure an IMF bailout. There is, however, an obstacle. The obstacle is that China, which holds a chunk of Ghana's debt with the Paris Club, about $1.7 billion, is required to have some kind of agreement with Ghana before Ghana cannot go to the IMF board and say that we'll be able to restructure our internal debt, which then will pave the way for the IMF board to grant Ghana's approval for debt support. Now, we are told that the finance minister is in this meeting and he's going to make a presentation before the two leaders and to tell them the outcome of his engagement with the Chinese authorities last week. And then also President Akufo Addo, we are told, will make a formal plea with the U.S. government to assist Ghana in getting this IMF deal as early as possible. The U.S., on the other side, is on this table promoting human rights, democracy, and security, especially on the continent. They are looking at Ghana as a beacon of democracy, and for that reason, everything must be done to preserve Ghana's democracy. But on the sub-region, there appears to be some instability because of activities of the jihadists and the other groups that are seeking to destabilize the constitutional order in some, African states within the sub-region already. Burkina Faso, Mali, is all falling to these, groups. For that reason, the U.S. is seeking to ensure that our security is tight, especially on the sub-region, to prevent the jihadists from spreading their hold on some of the African countries. So these are the two issues that is dominating discussions at the bilateral level. This meeting is behind closed doors, we know, but these are the issues that are being discussed. And afterwards, we'll now have them to respond to questions from the media at the banquet hall.
As correspondent, certainly will bring you more from the Jubilee House in our subsequent bulletins.